Yeah.
The well, I'll just say that the meeting, one of the meeting agenda has the bylaws. That which I guess, Sally, you're thinking that if we can just vote on that, that's probably the most important thing right at the moment.
Yeah.
There was I made a suggestion. I wasn't sure if people thought it was a good suggestion or not, but it was basically just wherever we say the open meeting law, we just say in accordance to the open meeting law, as opposed to by the open meeting law. I wasn't really sure if that was the right language, but looks like Richard had sent us an email with that revision.
Okay.
So, and Jim, are you on that email? Or where you want?
No, I'm
Maybe
not.
we should send that to him now.
Yeah,
Let me see if I can get it.
there are some revisions made, and I guess we could vote on it and still might. I know, Jim, you had some very good feedback on the last version, and then some additional comments were made at the last select board meeting, which I think Richard has incorporated, and then this last minute change. So just to be totally open with the what we're actually voting on.
Yes, I think Michelle had indicated that everything was good, except there was one point you want to change. I forget what it was, but it was a minor change. Richard would know.
Yeah.
Well, I can't
maybe
find Jim. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find Jim's email. Do I have an email for you, Jim?
Probably not.
Okay. Do you want me to send this bylaw, the latest bylaws, to you right now?
Ben has it.
Ben has it? Okay.
He has my
I
email.
think I do. Let me check.
But I have no idea how to be on Zoom and on my email at the same time.
yeah.
I'm very technology challenged.
I'm right with you there, Jim.
I want to go back to rotary dial phones,
Yeah.
which I still have, as I told you.
If you want to tell me your email, I can just pop it in here and send this to you.
You ready?
Here, I'll put it in the chat. I can put it in the chat. I have it right here.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can write protocol, but we could always approve it at the meeting, and then I guess to maybe some revision. I don't.
I think
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the timing. I think the select board wants to agree to it at some point.
Yeah. Review it and agree to it. But have to review.
I couldn't
they
hear
would
the
have-
last thing you said, David.
Oh, I would assume the select board would have to review it one more time as well, because
Yeah.
Richard made changes, and so maybe that would give Jim an opportunity to look at it as well.
Okay. Did you use what Ian wrote to add the? Did you see Ian's revisions?
Who are you asking?
Okay, I was asking David. But now that you're here, Richard, you could tell us what the latest is on that.
Okay, Ian did a rather complete edit. David made a suggestion late this afternoon about changing in accordance to instead of by in several places. So I did that, and pending your feedback, we would submit it to the select board again for consideration.
Yeah. It looked really great to me. It seemed like it really honed in and was clear. But I don't know if Jim has gotten that view.
Well, honestly, Jim isn't on the committee, so he's not part of the
Oh, right.
the process.
We already kind of brought his ideas into it, so that was good.
Yeah, his ideas are in,
Right.
Jim, what Ian did was just kind of clean it up according to his, his thoughts. No,
Yeah.
nothing was changed
Yeah.
of any substance. Everything is in there.
Yeah, I think it reads well.
Yeah.
So it seems like we could vote on it in its current form.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll send it to you, Jim. You can raise anything at the select board meeting when it comes up. Okay, so in that case, I guess we need a motion to forward the current version of the bylaws to the select board for approval.
I move.
Okay, second.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Okay, great.
Aye.
Okay, you've started down the agenda.
well, not really. We just,
Not
this is
really.
that's the first thing we've done right now, just because we knew it was the most important.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we can approve the July meeting minutes. Could I have a motion to that effect?
Mhm.
And a second? And
Second.
all in favor? And thank you, Ben,
Yeah,
as always. Let's hold off number 4 for a few moments and just go through some of the business things. As I mentioned in the email, this will probably be pretty short because there's no update on either 5 or 6. Unfortunately, we were hoping that Maddie would contact us late last week or early this week with news about the consultants and a meeting time, and there's been no communication. So the MERP program is on hold until that happens. And the same thing basically with EV chargers. Not Maddie, but really the state deciding on whether it is going to award Bristol level 3 EV chargers. So we've got no word on that yet. I don't know, David, do you and Ben, do you have any feedback you'd like to provide on the select board meeting? We talked about MERP.
Well, I could start. I thought it went very well. Richard had started out just sort of explaining the program, what it was about, the history of it. Allison added a few things as well, and then I had done sort of more the detail presenting the kind of more details of the of each, the scope of work for each building. And I sort of started to talk about pricing, but and we gave some kind of general pricing indications to in the meeting, but we all recognize that these prices probably weren't needed to be adjusted anyway, probably upwards. And we so we didn't focus a lot on the money except for the bottom line, which was like 2.5. It was 249,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
We can go up to 500,000. So we thought there was plenty of room to sort of escalate the prices based upon any new pricing we might get from actual vendors or contractors. And then the thing that we are waiting on with that Richard mentioned about Maddie was that she was on the phone call, which was very helpful, just kind of clarify how the program works, what the town would have to do, and then also that of this initiative where they included us on an RFP for architects and AE firms to help us implement the program. And so, that would include, refining those prices, refining the scope, what exactly, the scope of work is. And that would be at no cost as well to the town. So I think that was a welcome thing, probably to the town. I won't speak for them, but for us, because I think Sally was, worried that we weren't going to get pricing, and in our past conversation, Sally, and I think that I was a little bit relieved that that we'll have some professional help on that score. And also, we didn't really talk about it in the meeting, but also during the construction phase, someone, to monitor what's going on and do, quality assurance on, on the job site and stuff. So I think, so that was very welcome news. However, it sounds like it, instead of getting something at the end of last week, if they did get something at the end of last week, we haven't heard about it. So we're still waiting. I think we were thinking we're going to jumpstart this process, like this week or maybe early next week, but I'm not sure how that's gonna play out. I don't know, Ben, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously I didn't say a lot in the select board meeting. I was really just kind of listening. But my impression was that the select board was pleased with the level of detail that, we went to kind of go through the reports. I think it was clear that most of the select board had read the reports, so they were generally familiar, but we put some decent numbers in front of them just to get a sort of conceptual idea. So I thought that was helpful. In general, they seemed receptive to the idea of submitting for this grant funding. I mean, I think just kind of it was a good pitch, right? I mean, so I think that was good. I think it was incredibly helpful to have Maddie on the call. I thought she really brought a lot of the sort of credibility to the process, because she's working with those outside consultants to get one of them on. So I think that was really, really helpful. And yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that really was concerning to me coming out of that select board meeting was just a timeline. I mean, thinking we're going to do this at the middle of September, submit for the application seems very aggressive and very, just seems like a lot to do in a little bit of time. And so the sooner we can get that architect engaged and, start that, I think the better. But that's really the only thing, is it just, select board seemed open to it. They seem pleased with our work, with how we've kind of helped push this through. And it's just a matter of the timing now. And unfortunately, at this point, it's out of our hands, right? We kind of are at the mercy of, the Regional Planning Commission.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think what's hard for people to wrap their head around is that, and I was thinking from the beginning that we would get to this point and go out and seek contractors to essentially give us real-time estimates. My understanding is that's not what's going to happen. These numbers are going to be looked at by the consultants, and they're going to inflate them as necessary. And then either they or Maddie is going to assist us with filling out the various applications. And so it's a little bit like using modeling to determine the loading of phosphorus in Lake Champlain. And it's a little frustrating, but if the numbers come in large enough so the town isn't at risk of entering into some of these things and being stuck with overages, then I think it'll be okay. I guess we kind of have to trust Maddie, the consultants in buildings and general services.
Yeah, to add to that, so someone did ask Maddie about the timeline, and she had indicated at that point that there weren't even any applications to be, like they didn't received an application, like what it looked like, And so she was not willing to say that it wasn't going to be September 15th or 16th, whatever that date is.
Mhm.
It seemed she seemed to sort of indicate that is probably not, there it was probably going to have to be pushed back,
Mhm.
something, but she wasn't willing to say
Yeah.
that because she didn't have any information to that effect. But just the fact that we have no applications, and then you have to have time to fill it out, and then you have to have this person on board or this firm on board, it's really very, I think, very little chance that it's going to be that quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing is we're not the only town going to be involved in this process. So it's a little bit hard to know. I guess we're getting our baptism in the intimate process of pushing something through the state process.
Yeah.
So I guess my feeling is it'll all work out in the end. I guess the same way I feel maybe about the November election. I'm hopeful. Anyway, anything else on MERP? Okay, and the Harvest Festival, Sally,
Yeah.
you mentioned that
Yeah.
all the booths are taken.
Yeah, it's all taken, but here's some ideas I have, and that is, first of all, the week before, there's the Virgin's Energy Fair that is all of Addison County, and that's going to have various energy committees and all sorts of different energy type things, and Local Motion will be there, and many different people who are all about energy. So it's like, we're like the only ones doing energy practically at the Harvest Fest. And this other one is all about energy. And I think it would be awesome if our members went to it already. Allison and I will be there because we agreed to do a few other things with like Local Motion and window dressers. But there are so many interesting things going on there. I think it would be kind of a refresher and a chance for us to see what's going on with other energy committees and other things in the county. I think it could be inspiring. I had great conversations with people last year when I was there. I was there with the Thermal Energy Networks table. So it's 10 to 3 at Virgin City Park on Saturday, September 21st. And it could be kind of fun for us to just go, and I don't mean set up a booth and all that, although we could do that. I'm thinking just go as people and walk around and talk to people, and then collect if we're there together and talk about what we're finding, and just kind of a little retreat time where we get more input and more ideas for our own committee. Because we're at a point where, we got the MERP, but we could have some new ideas come in, and maybe even find another committee member or something, who knows what, you know? So that's my idea about going there. As far as the Bristol Harvest Fest, which is the following weekend, there still may be ways we could connect with people there if we feel like it, even if we didn't have a tent. And I'm not sure what that would look like, but if we had anything we wanted to promote or talk about, one of us could be there for an hour or two doing, walking around and handing flyers out, or I don't really know what, but if there's something we can think about, I mean, people probably are used to seeing us there, but I'd be fine walking around and, connecting with people, having some flyers, having a questionnaire, whatever we thought would be useful, but not pushing it, like trying to make something happen that doesn't seem that much like it's going to do much.
Any other thoughts?
I like the idea of going to Virginia's Energy Fair as private citizens, and then maybe we all kind of report back on what we found at the next Energy Committee meeting, because I think there's some and maybe Jim might know, but there might be some specifics around if we're all together in the same place as the energy committee, it might like become a meeting. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Oh, yeah, right.
So
Yeah,
we may just try to just make it, mark it on your calendar as, yep, go check out the Virgin's Energy Fair, or excuse me, Virgin's Energy Fair that Saturday. And then we just have an agenda item the next time we all meet in October, or what, maybe it would be in September. Maybe that's before the next September meeting. I'm not sure, but we could do something like that.
Next meeting, so it would be after the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we do that. I kind of like that idea to get some fresh ideas, and
Yeah.
maybe we bump into each other while we're there, and maybe we don't. I don't know, but it might be good.
I don't think you have to worry about the open meeting law, just even
But-
going as a team to do some research. You're not making any decisions.
That's
Just
true.
collecting
Good point.
information. Yeah, I don't think that's a problem. Yeah, that
But I
sounds
think it's
good.
good to bring it up, though. I think it was wise to bring it up and have us have a, decide to come back to the meeting and report it in a way that other people, the public, could hear us. and
Right.
stuff. Yeah,
Right.
I think
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Okay. Let's see, we don't have any, I'm sure, update on the Bristol schools. The situation with Carl, his job
Yeah,
with building energy has just swamped him. He's uh, working minimum 9-hour days.
yeah,
So I can't imagine
yeah.
what that kind of load is. So back to the issue regarding committee chair. The first question is, are any of you interested in taking this on? Willing to volunteer?
I think it might be helpful to define what you think, or what your experience has been with it, Richard, because I think it it would be good to just kind of understand, like, obviously, were you guys the point people with the select board? I know crafting the agenda is an important role, so maybe you could give us an overview of what the responsibilities are.
Well, and Sally can chime in on this too, because you were chair for a while.
Sally's the one who's doing it before. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
point.
It really is being responsible for hosting the meetings each month on Front Porch Forum and letting the town clerk know, which includes not only posting the meeting notice, but the agenda for the month, and then convening the meeting at the town hall, and making sure it's recorded. And then, just running through the agenda, which we're very informal about this. So it's not an onerous responsibility. But the hardest thing for me, and something I'm just not going to put up with anymore, is trying to manage that computer. I'm a Mac person, and that thing, last time, it was a breeze. I went in, I turned things on, and it came up lickety split. This time, absolutely could not do it. So I don't want to be in the position of screwing up the meeting each month because I can't manage the computer. And I've sat down with Ian, and it looks straightforward, and then you go in and here's this thing. So um, I'm pretty much of a mind that I should step down as chair and just be a an energy committee member. Um, and I don't think, Ben, that it's that onerous. It's whether or not you get involved. For example, I got very deeply involved in EV chargers and in MERP, and that's where the time comes. It's if you get into a project. It isn't so much the chairmanship. It's if you get in deep into a project, and then any one of us can be assigned um, to a project and be the contact person. So, for example, if we were starting MERP out again, and then you took a real interest in it from the beginning, you could have been the contact person with the select board and Maddie and so on. Does that make sense, Sally?
Yeah, yep,
So-
yep. And I think we've often had different people kind of take a project and run with it and, organize it and come back. And, yeah, the chair mainly was the one to create the agenda, but also just ask the other people what they want on the agenda. It's not like you have to figure it all out. You just say,
Right.
hey, what do you want on the agenda? This is what I have so far. And then lead the meeting. And when I was doing it, I was able to do it from my home computer because we didn't have the need to be in a public space, whereas now we do. So that has complicated, like you said, as far as figuring out how to get the computer to go at Holly Hall. I could certainly not do it. I'm just like, phew, I've just got my Mac and I can barely do that, so that's, um,
So thoughts, anybody? One thing we really do need to do is recruit some more members.
Yeah.
We can have there's no limit to the number we have. The ideal number mentioned in the bylaws, I think, is 7. And we are down 1, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, we have,
maybe 2, if,
Yeah, we're down 2.
if we have 5 right now,
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
2. And there
I mean,
was I know Sally, you had some emails between, is it Thomas? What was his
yeah,
name?
Thomas. Yes, so I met with Thomas
Yeah.
yesterday or the day before, and we ended up having a long walk and conversation in Bristol and on the green. And I did send him tonight's agenda and info, but kind of late notice. And he is a parent of some and has kids and a partner or a wife, and so he's got some busy stuff going on too. But he is interested in staying in touch, and if there's anything, he might get on the committee, but he didn't say whether he would or not then.
You should send him the application.
Oh yeah, I
That
didn't
one
think of
page.
that.
You should send him
Um,
that 1-page thing that's on the town website. Just
Okay.
if they just plant the bug in his head, you never know, right? You could
Yeah,
just
right.
say, you know what? Yeah,
Yeah, if I put that in front of him, that might help.
yeah. Let him know it's not that hard.
Yeah,
Just got to be willing to do it, right?
yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I had a question for you, Richard, in the, I don't know how the transition happened from Sally to you and Carl, and was it always a co-chair situation, or was there a time when either you or Carl were the chair people?
Really went from Sally as chair. I think it's always been a chair. And when it came time when Sally decided to step back, um, as I remember, nobody really wanted to do it alone, but Carl and I agreed that we would essentially rotate as chair month to
Mhm.
month.
Yeah,
And it is in the bylaws as a possibility. So it's legitimate if they're, and if the select board doesn't seem to have a problem with it.
Yeah. How do you think it worked?
Oh, I think it worked fine. Carl and I were able to be in easy contact, and I thought it was fine. I mean, basically what we did was I'll take a month, you take a month, I'll take a month. And it was just that process of getting out the agenda and meeting notices on time, and then showing up at Holly Hall and unlocking the door and um, wrangling with the computer.
Mm-hmm. seems like this, the computer at Holly Hall is the, is the thing that is, the most onerous part of the job.
Why, you guys who use Microsoft stuff probably, it'd be like water off a duck's back, but,
I'm a Mac person too.
oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if Ben, you are, but
I am exclusively not a Mac person, but I feel that by suggesting that information, I may be setting myself up
Yeah.
for IT role at least, which I honestly would not have a problem with. But like in weeks like or months like right now, I am currently on the road for work, so I'm able to make time to be at the meeting. But if I was the chair and had to set up the call, I'm in Wisconsin, like I can't, you know what I mean? So. But I can still take notes and I can still do the sort of the record keeping. I think that's worked really well. So I don't know. I think maybe there's a world where if someone could rotate with me or be like a sort of on call type of situation where if my work was a certain, but that's not fair to somebody else that just dropped that on them based on my schedule. So I don't know.
Well, I wonder, you guys got on simply by, and I did tonight, simply by hitting the link. So we bypassed that computer. And maybe that's an answer to have somebody who's willing to do it from home to get it up and running. But we still have to get the damn thing on in Holly Hall for people who show up so they can interact. So I can always go up and unlock the door and be there. That's not a problem.
Oh, and use your computer there.
Well, I haven't tried that. I've logged on to the town Wi-Fi in the past. I don't like it, and I don't particularly like doing it.
Yeah.
For security reasons.
Okay. Neat. Oh yeah, Neat repeats. Not Neat repeats. Oh my God. Neat TV used to come and record our things, and sometimes they would come on just online, and so they'd have a thing so people could tune into the TV station or whatever it is. It's not, it's not in person, but it's a little, if they were willing, that's a little more accessible to the public. But I guess, yeah, people still need to be able to come.
So let me just say one more thing in the way of explanation. Gail and I are going through a very rough time right now with her health. I basically have to be here and assist her. She can't walk right now. In fact, tomorrow we're having a stair lift put in so she can get upstairs. And it's really put a lot of stress, just time-wise, trying to get things done. I'm doing all the shopping, all the cooking, all that stuff because she's really not able to do it. And we don't know how long this is going to last. It's a very puzzling situation that the doctors don't seem to be able to get a hold of. So that's part of my reason for also I'm on the edge a lot more than I would normally be because I'm tired. I'm getting up several times a night to assist her, that kind of thing. So I want you to know that just as kind of background. It's we're both in our 80s. It's I guess that's part of the background too.
Yeah. Well, you certainly do a great job for being in your 80s, and yeah, I'm glad you've been able to do as much as you have. Thanks for hanging in there for so long, but I really think it's important that you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And Gail.
So have we reached any thoughts? Sounds like Ben's halfway thinking about collaborating.
Well, I would like to know if there's a way, and maybe again, maybe Jim, our expert, could chime in. But uh, is there a way where if we give the public enough notice that it's Zoom only, is that an acceptable process, or do we have to have an in person at all times? Like, does there have to be an in person component, or how to like just go ahead, Jim? I saw you come off mute.
I think you can do Zoom only as long as you notify the public, because the bike pedestrian committee, they only do Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I
so
think as long as you have the availability,
right, as long as it's
my check
proper
for sure with
notification.
Valerie though, she'll be able to tell you for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna make a note of that in the notes here.
So if that's the case, then that does simplify things a bit.
We're on Zoom now. I don't understand what's going on, because when I clicked in, it said Bristol Energy Committee. I
Mhm.
used the link for the Zoom, and it popped up and we were all on it. Without a home base, I don't understand how that's working. Unless you got through with Richard and you didn't realize it.
No, I definitely didn't, and then I turned it off, and this is still going. So somewhere in the Zoom ether, and this has been my experience with many other things that I've been involved in, um, is that people do it entirely remotely, and so this link must be an active link assigned maybe to us, to the Energy Committee, and so we can check on that. But if we can sign on this way with this link from
I think
home,
each committee has their own assigned code.
okay,
I know the Conservation Committee a lot does just Zoom also. And you're not the only one who has problem getting on. I think on occasion I've seen them have problems too.
yeah, it's crazy. Makes no sense.
Modern technology, guys.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah, I'll say. So
I-
let's do this. Let's just defer for a month and try doing a Zoom only from home. A Zoom only.
Yeah.
I'll stay on as chair. If it's going to be that kind of thing, I think it's not going to be that stressful. If I can do it from home on my own computer, let's try that for next month and see how it goes. And then maybe Ben and I can do some trading on and off.
I think I would be open to that for sure. I mean, I write the meeting notes anyways, which is usually based off the agenda, so I can craft the agenda. Like, I don't think it would, if it's really, if it's lead the meeting, come up with the agenda. And like I said, I'm already writing the notes from the previous meeting, so I think it makes sense where we could find a way to we could do another co-chair. If Carl says I can't do it, I can backfill Carl, rotation maybe or something. Um, Assuming we can make it work with the Zoom only, I would be open to doing that. I want to help. I want to help you out, Richard. I know it's tough right now. So
Yeah. Okay, let's do this. If you're able, Ben, uh, let's try it out. You set up the next meeting.
okay,
If you're not able, let me know.
okay, I will.
One thing for sure, I'm not going anywhere.
We need you on this committee, clearly.
Richard, just also, I wanted to say that if there are other things besides sort of running the meeting, the technical side of the meetings, if there are other aspects of the chairperson's job that you want to just need help with, or even want to delegate, I think we as their members would be open to that, or I'll speak for myself. I'd be open to that. just as Ben has kind of stepped up, we could take some of that burden off of you if you, yeah, just let us know what that might be.
Well, I think what would make sense, uh, David, if you could be the contact person with Maddie and Merp. So
Okay, yeah.
if a consultant comes on, that you would take the lead on that.
Yeah.
Is that okay with the committee if we delegate in that manner?
It sounds good. Another thing I'm thinking is Ben is a great note taker, so it might be helpful if someone else was, looking at the agenda and saying, let's talk about this, blah, 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 and pick, and like, if someone's raising their hand, they catch that and they say, oh, someone else wants to speak or whatever, so that if Ben wants to continue with notes, he can stay focused on notes. I don't know how you feel about that, Ben. But, so you wouldn't have to do everything, like run the meeting and take
Yeah,
notes.
I don't mind. Yeah, if it's like I'll draft the agenda and I'll be like like I said, like I think I said earlier, like IT, get the meeting set up and then take the notes, and then
Yeah.
you know that would be plenty for me to
Yeah,
to
totally.
kind of align with. So yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Someone else actually be the one who's, saying, okay, what do you have to say with this? And okay, let's let's hear from you and this, that kind of stuff. You don't have to do that.
Okay, we'll work that out. I can maybe continue to run us through the agenda.
Yeah.
In that case, if we'll collaborate on the notes, on the agenda, Ben, and if you can get us set up, submit the stuff to the front porch forum. Generally, they prefer that you send it to Sharon, the town clerk, uh, by the Thursday before the meeting. Although Monday is not bad. The town hall is closed on Friday. So either Thursday or Monday. And then front porch forum, I try to get it in sometime around that same time. I usually do the set the agenda up and send it to Zoom, and not Zoom, send it to front porch forum and Sharon at the same time.
That makes sense. Yeah, do it all at the same time. It's the same agenda, right? So.
Yeah, right.
And
And of
did you just
course-
post it to Front Porch Forum as from your personal Front Porch Forum account?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And of course, the link is on there. If you keep using the agenda that we've been sending out, that link works. So I just,
Okay.
I just paste the new stuff on and use the same
Yeah,
thing.
that's fine. Yeah, same format. That's fine. And
Yeah.
is the agenda it's in an editable format, right? It's not a PDF.
No, right.
Okay. Then I should be able
And
to
it,
figure it out.
and it ends up also in the calendar, if you say you want it on the calendar, at the
Yeah.
bottom of the front porch forum thing too.
Okay. All right.
But
I'll
then it
figure it out.
stays there for a number of days if you put it in early, that kind of thing.
Anybody have
Okay.
anything else?
Wow.
Okay, I think the other thing is maybe it'd be a good idea to put out a front porch forum invitation to members, for members.
I was wondering about that. Is it the select board that wants to do that? To fill the energy committee? Or or should we do it, or both?
I
What do
think
you think, Jim?
we can put out a call and have the application form on the link, on as a link.
Okay,
Do you want to do that, Sally?
sure. And
Great.
maybe I'll check with select board just to make sure if there's anything they want specifically, just to make sure.
Sure.
Maybe I'll talk to Ian or something like that.
Yep.
So we're asking for Energy Committee members.
Yeah, I think you could even say right now um, we are 2 members below the recommended number. So that we are at this point seeking at least 2 new members. Pending approval of the select board.
Great. And you're going to send the application to me? Is that true?
I don't have it.
Oh,
Really have
where?
to- I would say
Okay.
Sharon
Okay, I'll check with Sharon.
did it for you.
Great.
And say, you know, salary is negotiable.
I thought you said celery.
Oh,
CEL.
yeah,
You don't have to eat celery, just carrot sticks or crackers.
oh boy.
I'm gonna put a link in the chat to the application that I filled out
Great.
on the
Oh,
town
cool.
website, so we can bypass Sharon.
Thank
We
you
know
so
Sharon's
much.
Very busy,
Yeah,
so it's in the chat for everybody. So you could just use that link.
Great,
great.
thanks.
Thank you very much.
See, I'm already IT guy.
You
Yeah.
are, you're all over it.
You know,
Beautiful.
I think you've just undermined your position.
Think? You think?
I think you're stepping up. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I recommend that we close the meeting. Anybody object?
Nope.
Okay, in that case, the meeting is over. Have a good night.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
everybody.
much, everyone.
Now I'll go watch the convention.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Did
night.
any of you see Michelle Obama last night?
No, I did
Yes.
not.
Oh God, she was incredible.
I got to see if I can see that.
And get it
Yeah.
if you can.
Yeah.
She just her phrasing was absolutely beautiful. It was
Great.
really something. Yeah. Okay, that's enough.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.